out, you write, "The Supreme Court, in particular, now sits in final judgment of essentially all policy issues, disregarding the constitutional limitations, the legitimate roles of Congress and the President, and the broad authority conferred upon the states and the people."
Yeah, the progressives have won, and I don't know why they're complaining or challenging what I'm writing. You know, since before Woodrow Wilson and Franklin Roosevelt and so forth, they made clear what their objectives were: an all-powerful central government. They didn't like this idea of checks and balances. They didn't like this idea of state sovereignty, and they did everything they could at the time to undermine that, to usurp that. So we have a Supreme Court now that sits in decision of virtually anything it wants to consider. Look, whatever your opinion is, look what happened in California with Proposition 8. Look what's happened with DOMA. Look what happens with all these issues. We all sit breathlessly, sitting on the edge of our chair in June. How's Justice Kennedy going to go? How's Justice this one going to go? That one going to go? These are 9 individual human beings. They're as imperfect as the rest of us. They're of blood. They're of skin. They're of bone. They're of brain matter. And they are imperfect. And the idea that a great republic with 310 million people has to await the decision of really one justice, depending on how that justice swings, or 5 justices, to determine, you know, a particular social or cultural issue for the entirety of the nation is absurd. And the idea that there's no recourse whatsoever is absurd. And nobody can point to anything that took place at the Constitutional Convention or any of the state ratifying conventions that supports such a judicial oligarchy. There would be no Constitution if that's what the Constitution created, and it didn't. So one of my